Thank you for tuning in. I am Patricia 2 Wavy. Welcome to my live stream here on what's called the Tagged app. You can download this Tagged app by using your phone, going to the App Store, and you would type in Tag. The app will pop up. All you have to do is open it, download it, create your account. Once you create that account, you can go into the search engine bar and you can type in the number 2 and Wavy, just like you see up above there with my name. And once you come across that, you will see on the right side of a mail, because there is a mail to Wavy, you'll see Patricia to Wavy, and there you can fave me on both of us. These live streams that I do here are called Patricia's Parade of Pages, where I do book reviews, skits of books, and different kinds of interviews of even authors and entertainers. But it's a parade, so it goes all kinds of different ways. There's lots of confetti, and the Tag app is filled of a lot of different colorful personalities. We don't have a cap or a bar on folks here. It just kind of flows and goes. So welcome to the show. Now, what I'm about to do here is check where I am on the trending board. I'm also a top badge streamer here, which means that when you become a top badge streamer on this app, you become one of the frontline streamers that are on this app. And if you do decide to be a guest on the show, then you too will shine in the same light. So I'm going to check what's called our trending board here. Now I'm smalling myself. Go up and refresh. And you can see where we are visible on this app out of 300 million people. We are we are the 5th stream showing on the entire app. Okay, I am thrilled, man. Thank you. What you see below is called the comment areas, where other streamers or gifters come into this stream and they communicate with you live. Okay, so they can talk to you just like you would see in a live on Instagram or in a live on YouTube, which is probably where you found me. And so either that or one of my business cards. And so when you see that, yay, pop that bottle for me. I'm thrilled, man. What he's doing is gifting. And we have different gifts on this app which accumulate and add up to real monies. Or you can go out and convert and gift your other friends or both, but that's a whole nother video. That's not Patricia's Parade of Pages. I just want you guys to take your shoes off and get comfortable with where you are. Every time people come in, I like to say hello to them, if I can understand their names. People use different kinds of font. Sometimes it's readable, sometimes it's not. And I think what I'm reading below is Empress. Okay, so again, Patricia's Parade of Pages is for bookworms, book lovers, entertainment lovers, because sometimes we really, I've noticed that some people are interested in books, but they're really just not interested in reading them. Hello, Empress Savage. Thank you for holding those hearts. What you see above there is 15.7 million diamonds that I have accumulated in this live stream. We are now at 27 views, which will increase throughout this stream so that you can kind of see and monetize what actually happens within here. So anyway, and thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Holding hearts does help. Now, a lot of people, like I said before, they're interested in reading. They're interested in books, but they're just not really interested in doing the action of reading it. So sometimes an audio book is best for them, or that's why we have a show like this, where we can recommend a book and enlighten them about the book and what goes on inside of it. So today, the book of my choice is one that I have been reading, and I highly recommend it. It's called See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. So if anybody has read this book before, please comment below if you've heard of it. If you have anything to say about the book, let us know. Has anybody ever heard of this book before? Or the who is by Zig Ziglar? Okay, Zig Ziglar is a motivational speaker. And I always recommend a site called, well, I won't say the site, but I recommend doing this. These quotes that folks like, or things that you're trying to work on or improve in yourself, or goals that you're trying to achieve, I recommend you break down an actual physical list of them. right? That you're trying to do. A lot of people on here are trying to get to the top of things or what have you. But you will need to or will want to thoroughly read about that from people who have been there. And I had an aspiration shortly a while ago that was achieved. And I got a lot of meat, no veggies. I mean, some veggies too, but I got a lot of nutrition out of this book. A lot, a lot, a lot. That will just totally change your mindset and everything. This chapter here is called A Picture is Worth 1,000 Words. Okay? And so this is the picture at hand. All right, I'm going to just read this short story to you. One man said that a picture is worth 10,000 words. Thousands have repeated his words, and millions more have believed him. I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous too, y'all. However, it is my personal belief that the man or woman who believes this saying has never really read Lincoln's Gettysburg Address or the Bill of Rights. Here's another thing I want to tell you all about Patricia's pages. Anytime that I read something and they, recite someone else, like this one did with the Lincoln's Gettysburg Address and the Bill of Rights, I stop there and I go and read that and the Bill of Rights, and then I come back. If I see a word that I don't know, I stop there and I go read that word, and then we come back to the book, because you don't want to just kind of be robotic in reading or just kind of, winging it as you go. All right. Okay. So make sure that you, that's something to highlight. If you haven't read the Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, you may want to. If you're not familiar with the Bill of Rights, get familiar with that. Neither have they read and understood the 23rd Psalm or the Lord's Prayer. So those are two other things that you need to learn. Books, they pile information one on another. Hi, God man, how are you doing? These works contain words, just words, but they are words that have changed the destiny of nations, the course of history, and the lives of million people. Here is a story about how some words had a dramatic impact on a life. A number of years ago, the movie A Man Called Peter was produced. I shall never forget one of the scenes. The actor portraying Peter Marshall was preaching a sermon on belief and faith. When the scene was over, the cameras kept grinding. Many members of the cast got up from their seats to walk down to congratulate the actor for a superb performance. One of the members of the cast, who was a member of the congregation, was an actress named Marjorie Rambeau, and she walked down to congratulate the actor. It was obvious she was emotionally involved in the situation. I say this and add that it was fortunate the cameras were still grinding, because Marjorie Rambeau could not walk, okay? She had been injured in an automobile accident and for over a year had been unable to take a step. But as she listened to those words of faith and encouragement, she became engrossed in the message contained in those words. So engrossed, as a matter of fact, she believed the message, got up, walked, and kept on walking. I'm not implying that the words in this book will change the history of the word or that their effect will be as dramatic as the story of Marjorie Rambeau. However, I completely believe that the philosophy contained herein can make a substantial difference for you. All right? Several thousand unsolicited testimonials from people in all walks of life attest to the fact that the Born to Win concepts will work for you if you work with them. All right? Now let's look at a thought provoker. How many squares do you see? All right? I'll let you all take a look and see how many squares you see there, if you want to count them. God man, do you know how many squares you see? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. If you said 16, you have lots of company. If you said 17, you are in much more select group. But if you are still in error, before you turn the page to see what the artist has done with these squares, why don't you take another look and see how many more squares you can find? All right? So we're going to take another look just to see, because they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So let's see, how many squares do you all see? I want to know. Are you all able to count them? Okay. Hi, Christopher T. Hello. All right, so I'm going to flip the page. Okay, then he does a count of the squares. All right. So since you hold the book in your hands, no one could have any additional. As you can see, there are 30 squares. That's how many there actually are. I simply showed you where they are. This illustrates two important concepts. First, an in-depth look reveals considerably more than a casual glance. Okay? All right? That's true of the squares and also true of you. All right? So your potential in future. All right? Second, most of all, occasionally need someone to point out the obvious more often than not so obvious. Okay? So there's certain things about ourselves that we can see and certain things that we cannot. And we need to be able to take advice from others that can see a little closer or a little more from a distance than we are able to when we look into the mirrors at ourselves, right? Just the same way that we can see certain things of others. And sometimes we believe that the person themselves can see these things, or that they should know that you can see them, but they do not. This goes a long way. It reminds me of people that try to kind of get away with certain things or get over on you. And sometimes you think to yourself, don't you know that I know what you're doing? Because you kind of look like what you're doing. But no, they don't. Because you would think that they wouldn't do that. But the reason why they're doing that is because they don't, they have a different image of themselves in their minds. It could be a false one, okay? Over exaggerated one. And so they they act out as what they see, okay? And this can go good or bad, all right? Some people use it for bad. Some people use it for good. When you use it for good, perhaps maybe you are not where you want to be. It says see you at the top. Perhaps you don't see yourself at the top, and that could be a lot of the issue. Because if you don't see yourself there, you're not going to behave and maneuver like you are. You may move in such a way up until, your mind is like, oh, I'm just going to act like this, by osmosis until I get there. But that's not the way things work. You have to see yourself there already. Not just on this app, but anywhere in life. There are certain things that other outside of this app that I'm achieving for and going for, such as doing actual real television. So I can't get on here and perform any kind of way, right? And then just sending out a resume. You have to dress for the job you want. And if it's no job, please don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You have to see yourself. And then when you give yourself that actual visual, you begin to move towards it more and more. Now, that's what you want to believe. Now you want to believe what you see because you're going to start turning into it. You turn into it and other people are going to begin to treat you like it. They begin to treat you like it, you begin to form it, and then you become it. And then all of a sudden you are it. And that is the way that works. But I've noticed a lot of times what the real barrier is, and I can't stress it enough, it's just doing certain things and putting a lot of pressure needlessly into every other area than behaving and doing it already. Right? You can't buy levitation. Okay? You can't do that. You actually have to seat it and wear it. You understand what I'm saying? If anybody understands what I'm saying, say hello. Say hello. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of other examples. Let me just look out here to grab some. Hello? Okay, so you understand where I'm coming from. All right, I do need you guys to participate. We are. All right. Some of you all, I've had some people who want to be homeowners. They want to own a different kind of home. Well, you have to treat the house that you have like that home that you want, right? You have to keep that place clean so that you begin to see that visual there. You have to begin to treat your budget like the house that you want, right? So you begin to conduct yourself like that. If you're going even in your company for vice president, I've had people that I've met in companies that were going for promotions within the company, but they still behaved like entry level. Their minds were entry level. They still gossiped about management. You're gossiping about management and you're applying for management. Why would they want you amongst them? Oh, you think they don't know, right? You really think that they made it all the way to management and they don't know these kinds of things? They do. So, if you are applying for management, you need to go in and, by God, please start dressing like it, because that's the first thing. I've had gone into companies where people have been there for years. One of them was 20 years. A woman was there as a director for 20 years. She was very comfortable with how she came to work every day. And, after 20 years, you think your nails are very much seeked into the ground to where your vice president, they just can't make it without you. You'll hear those kind of people that are in companies for a long time saying things like that. I don't know what they would do without me. That company has been around for 400 years. You've been there for 20 years, you can get to stepping when they feel like it. Don't ever believe that a company can't move on without you. That will do a couple of things. It'll cause you to overwork yourself when you really don't have to. And then when it's time for you to put in your retirement, or when it's time for you to get to stepping because you're getting a new opportunity or you're relocating, you're going to be shocked when you see how quick they switch you out and turn to the next person and don't even give you a throwing away party. And if they do, they barely come. I've seen it so many times, especially in the military, with people who put their families on the back burner because what would company such and such do without you? As soon as you let them know that you get ready to get to stepping, you will find out what they will do without you. All right, so let's start there. But anyway, going into this company, the woman was there for 20 plus years, right? But just dressed any kind of way. My third day there, the vice president just thanked me for coming in and presenting myself. So your presentation, you need to, you're going whatever position that you're applying for, look the part, act the part, think the part, move around, like them. Okay? Share that same responsibility. Hi, Marco. Empress, thank you for that, son. Hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful. Everyone is expendable. Everyone is expendable. This is the truth. Marco is telling you the God's honest right now. So, you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, your needs, your health. You're not missing doctor's appointments because what would the job do without you? When you're on one leg, they'll move on. That's what they're going to do. Not even sure if you're going to get anything for that one leg. So don't ever think that. 2, go over it again. Whatever parts you want, begin to dress for it. If you do not, like Marco said, being expendable, somebody could come through the door tomorrow and take that spot from you. She was there for 20 years. It didn't take me nothing but 3 months to remove for them to slot her out. And then she was gone. You understand? Because you also never want to get so comfortable in a company that you think that you can talk to them any kind of way and begin to do anything or behave, outside of their guidelines. You always have to remember that it is their company. And these are just things that you want to keep in mind, because even though the book is called See You at the Top, this is how people fall from the top and get off top. All right. Family and yourself first. That's right. And they get removed from the top when they get too comfortable and they forget that they are going by somebody else's guidelines in the first place. So you want to get there, all right? And then you want to stay there. That's the next thing. All right. Thank you, Empress, for the 100. Hello. How are you? How are you, Timmy? How are you? Let me see some other chapters in here. Again, this one, See You at the Top, is by Zig Ziglar. All right. So what are some things you guys would like to add to that? Anybody have any testimonies or anything they would like to add to that? Any experiences? If not, I'm going to go with chapter 2. The time is now. You can be bright and broke. All right. So this one says a number of years ago, oil was discovered on some Oklahoma property and that belonged to an old Indian. All his life, old Indian had been poverty stricken, but the discovery of oil suddenly made him a very wealthy man. One of the first things he did was buy himself a big Cadillac touring car. Thank you for the roses. How you doing, China Doll? In those days, the touring cars had 2 spare tires. All right, 2 spare tires on the back. However, the old Indian man wanted the longest car in the territory, so he added 4 more spare tires. He bought an Abraham Lincoln stovepipe hat, added tails and a bow tie, and completed his outfit with a big black cigar. Every day he would drive into the hot, dusty little Oklahoma cow town that was nearby. He wanted to see everyone and be seen by everyone. He was a friendly old soul, so when riding through town, he would turn both left and right to speak to everyone in sight. As a matter of fact, he would turn all the way around and speak to folks. Interestingly enough, he never ran into anybody or over anybody. He never did any physical damage or any property damage. The reason is simple. Directly in front of that big, beautiful automobile, there were 2 horses pulling it. Mother is reading children. Yes. So, all right. Garbage dump thinking. A number of years ago, I heard a philosopher say, you are where you are because that's exactly where you want to be. All right? I bought that idea and even repeated it to others. You know what I'm saying? Then late one night, I was in Birmingham, Alabama, driving to Meridian, Mississippi. It was important that I be in Meridian the next morning since the roads were under repair. I stopped at a service station for directions. The attendant pointed out the best route for me and even drew me a map. He assured me that if I followed his map, I would be in Meridian with time to spare. I followed his directions exactly. 1 hour later, I was 45 miles farther from Meridian than I had been when he gave me the directions. Obviously, I was not there because that's where I wanted to be. I was there because somebody had given me the wrong directions. So that takes care of that old saying right there. I might say the same thing to you. If you're broke, despondent, and down in the dumps, if you're not getting along well with your family or in your career, I just cannot believe that these are the conditions and circumstances that you really want. You know, there is a chance that maybe, just maybe, you've been given the wrong directions, which have influenced you negatively and caused you to suffer from garbage dump thinking. Okay? Now, don't get too cozy, even though, first of all, I want to stop there. That was great. That was great. Given the wrong directions. I don't believe that there are winners and losers. Okay? I've been told, and this is by his mentee, actually, Les Brown, that there are people who know and people who don't know. Now, when you know better, you do better, hopefully. Okay? And that's just about being able to accept wisdom and go forward with it and not be foolish. But there are people who know, again, and then there are people who don't know. So you have to, at this point, if you're here, you have the opportunity to begin to think about who you are accepting instructions from. And that's something to look closely at. I usually like to, anytime that I'm looking for how to get from point A to point B, I'm looking for that from people who are there, have been there. Okay? Not going or seeing somebody or heard about it. Do you understand? Hello, Boogie. How are you? Hi, Michael. Hi, China. Is that making sense to everybody? Is that making sense, guys? Right? And sure God, not the internet. Let me tell you what happens with social media. And I am a lover of social media. I promote it, but it has to be done a certain way. So I want you all to learn the way of how to control your social media. Media is not the devil. Uh, Media is just a software. Okay, it's a thing. So it's not Satan. It's the people behind it. And those people were those people, and we're going to be those people with or without Facebook. All it is that you can see their thoughts now. How you control your social media, okay? If I go today and I start an account from zero on Instagram, let's just take Instagram as an example. I'm going to go out and follow 100 people that are like-minded purposefully, because and I want to see what I want to see and what's going to help me grow there. People that are posting things that are unnecessary to my growth, but maybe family, I will mute them because I don't have the space, the mental space in my mind to come across and see foolishness. Not when I'm headed to, let's give me a journey here. Give me a destination. What am I trying to do in life? What are you trying to do? I'll give you an example. Somebody tell me one of their goals. Give me a goal. Give me a goal, and I'm going to act like I'm you. And shout out to our 69 viewers that are in here right now. Selling meal preps as a chef. Okay, I'm starting an account. My goal in life is to sell meal preps as a chef. Okay, I'm going to, first of all, Google the top 100 chefs, right? I'm going to Google them, and then I'm going to follow them on Instagram so that I constantly see their stuff. Okay, I'm going to hashtag chef prep, and I'm going to get those kind of followings. I'm also going to go to, and here's where the slippery slope is. I'm going to hashtag meal plan, selling meal, not selling because I'm selling. I will hashtag meal prep chef, and click on a meal that's prepped, right? But I'm going to dig into the likes, because the likes are going to show me the people who can be my audience possibly, and follow all of it. Now, when you do that, that means that I'm going to start seeing their stuff. And those people are not meal preparations. So you may come across posts such as this. If my man cheats on me, I would do A, B, and C. Anybody got time for that? Go to their page and mute them. I ran into one this morning of every morning I want to wake up to this, and it was like a sexual act. I don't have time to be looking at that. That's where that person's mind is. Obviously, they're not trying to build a business. Thank you for the follow. I have to mute you because I don't. Other people have other things going on. They have little funny stuff going on all the time. Mine's is in my bio. My Instagram is Patricia2Wavy_tag. That is pure nonsense. Some people's sex goes through their mind 24 hours, and that's what their posts are all the time. I don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. Not you trying to build a business as a meal prep chef. This individual is sitting in the house doing that all day. So that's what their mind consists of. You have to put their posts on mute. You only need to see and program, okay? Either you're going to be programming or you're going to write the program for yourself. Okay, you only need to see those top chefs and what they're doing and how they're moving. That's what needs to be in front of your eyes. Everybody else laughing, joking, making all these sexual and what they would do in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, ain't been in a decent one for the last 10 years, shouldn't even be thinking about it. But oh well, you got things to do with your business, right? And so that's what you're going to see in front of it. Now, when that's all that you see all the time, you're going to kind of, like I said before, it's going to actually give you a blueprint of things that you should be doing and ideas that you can put in place while adding your own creativity and your own flavor and your own uniqueness to it. But at least you have that blueprint to go by. You don't have to start things from scratch. Okay, we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. The wheel is reinvented. People are out there doing it, and somebody's going to copy from you too, but they're going to pick up their own flavor with it. You know what I mean? I love Oprah Winfrey, and I follow her a lot with her show, but my style is going to be different. But I would follow her work ethic pattern. Do you understand? You need to look at those people's work ethic patterns. So when I go onto your Instagram, I don't know what kind of folks you have on there, but your Instagram will look different from somebody else's. Somebody told me that they don't like Facebook because when they go on there, it's just a whole bunch of drama. Well, that's because that's what you're connected to. Facebook is nothing but a mirror. It's your face. All right? So what you see on there is a reflection of you. You know those people, they're part of who you are. Hello? And you need to know that. You need to know that because a lot of times we look out and we see other people behaving in a disturbing manner and then we say, oh, look at them. But if you see them and they up on you like that and up in your social media, they are allowed there. They are a part of you and a part of your subconscious. Somehow, some way. That's you. You need to think about that when you're adding folks. All right? It's not, oh, they're crazy. Okay? Is that you? Because that's you. That's your people, right? How you know them? You know what I'm saying? That's you. So that's why I choose to, when I see that, I'm like, that's not a part of, how I'm moving around. So that's gotta go. Or I have to mute it. It will throw you off for a loop. Somebody said, what's my Instagram? I'm going to repeat it again. Patricia2wavy_tag. Again, you need to that's garbage dump thinking. People put all kinds of stuff out of there, and you don't need garbage getting into your thought process when at the moment you are gung-ho with your chef meal prep plans, and that's what you need to be looking at all of the time. Okay, so that needs to be your thought process. You're on YouTube. You're thinking about that. There are people on here who are chefs. Perhaps you can come in here even on the search engine, and you can type in chef and see how many other streamers are chefs or interested in food, and you can fave them and go and visit their streams and come along into this community. Thank you for those roses, really, Jean, of other people that are chefs. You understand? Hey, does that work out for us? All right. You want to be, like I said, at the top of something. You want to be the VP at your company, right? You need to get associated with other VPs. All right? Let's go to another chapter and get some more. Is this good? I'm just looking to see some more in here. Anybody have any questions so far about anything that I spoke on? We do have 15 minutes left. All right, this one is called You Gotta Believe in You. Okay? The starting point for both success and happiness is a healthy self-image. Okay? You gotta know, you cute. You the stuff. You have it. It doesn't matter if nobody is... See, don't depend on just a whole bunch of people. You don't need a whole lot of people to be on your in your parade. You just need the right person. It could be just one. Because some people, and I hate to say this, but it's so true, they can accumulate thousands of people and none of them was the right one. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, Mitch Sexy, this is very important. Okay? Dr. Joyce Brothers, well known author, columnist, and psychologist, says an individual's self concept is the core of his personality. It affects every aspect of human behavior: the ability to learn, the capacity to grow and change, the choice of friends, mates, and careers. It all goes together. Okay? It's no exaggeration to say that a strong, positive self image is the best possible preparation for success in life. You must accept yourself before you can really like anyone else, or before you can accept the fact that you deserve success and happiness. Motivation, goal getting, goal setting, positive thinking, etc. won't work for you until you accept yourself. All right? You must feel you deserve success, happiness, etc. Okay? Before those things will be yours. The person with a poor self-image can easily see how positive thinking, goal setting, etc. will work for others, but not for them. Okay? You don't have to clap for everybody else all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for you to clap for you. It's time for you to clap for you. You understand? All right? Let me stress that I am talking about a healthy self-acceptance and not a super inflated. I'm glad you said that. Not a super inflated, I am the greatest ego. Of the diseases known to man, conceit is the weirdest of them all. It makes everyone sick except the one who has it. Actually, the individual with a bad case of eye trouble is really suffering from an extremely poor self-image. So sometimes you can be doing the most. We know when somebody's doing the most, all right? Because they're not getting the most out of it. Just doing the most, okay? So that you don't want to take it to that extreme. But you do have to have a good self-image of yourself. And I highly recommend that. Because, you have to take on an attitude of whatever it is you're achieving, why not me? Why not you? And this is why you need to study the people who have already done it. Because you're going to find out that you and them have a lot in common. You'll be thinking that they are so far up next to God that, how in the world am I going to get there? But if you read their literature, their books, if you listen to, some of the stories that might be on YouTube, they may drop seeds that will tell you things about them being right where you are today. And you might need to hear that so that you don't think there's, you may believe that the gap between where you are now and where they are right now is a lot bigger and scarier than it really is. It might not even be all that bad in what you think. Because I truly believe that if it's in your heart and God made you that way, then you're built and able to do that. Like this person said, a meal prep person, I don't have that in me. That's not my idea. Why would that come into my head? You know why it doesn't come into my head? Because I'm not built with the instinct to do that. I wasn't designed that way. So if you do have something in mind, that's because you're built with the instinct to do it. So even if you have, you layer it with formal education, you just know how to work it. You know what I'm saying? I love this. I love doing shows. Can you tell that I love it? I love making, flyers and preparation and doing these things and talking to people. It's very natural for me. Doing hair is not natural for me. I would be lost. A person that loves this here, what I'm doing, they're thinking about it 24/7. While you're in the shower, when you get out the bed and walk to the next room, while you're sitting on the toilet, when you go outside, when I'm cooking, all the time. So when I put certain things together, I'm not just going off of a tutorial that I learned, because I have an instinct for it and I just know how it goes. I just know. There's a God-given sense that you have. For those of you who do hair, some of the women on here do makeup. They just know how to move it and groove it and get it done. Okay? You have an instinct for that. And you need to know that, because sometimes we can feel like a needle in a haystack, like we're just so small uh, that nobody's ever going to see it. And I want to tell you all, it doesn't matter how many people see it. You need the right person to see it. I know I had a small page that was on Facebook. Actually, it was a large page. Actually, I have 23,000 fans over there on a fan page. And I posted a picture of myself doing digital marketing. Okay? Out of 23,000 people, do you know how many people liked my photo? One. I had one like out of 23,000 fans. Do you know how that made me feel? Like I did something wrong? Like maybe I shouldn't have did that? What's wrong with my picture? That's the first thing we did. Pick ourselves apart. What was wrong with it? But I said, I'm not taking it down, because I already knew what my journey was. See, when you know who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, how many people come around or who don't is not going to move you, because you know you have your instructions that are set out. And that is what looking at others who've gone before you, like I said on Instagram, is going to help you do, is set up your steps. So when I have my step set, that's my step. 100 people might like it, nobody might like it, but that's the step. I know I'm supposed to be doing it. So I didn't remove it because I knew that was my step. And it stayed there. Do you know, 3 days later, that one person who liked my photo called me and hired me at their company to come in and do that at a media company. What they saw. They really didn't even need a resume, because my picture was me in action, in motion, doing it. Everything that they would have needed to be on a resume. I mean, I brought my resume in after working there already. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Target. Who is your target audience when you are putting things out there? You know? And when I talk about target audience, a lot of times people think that I'm talking about targeting, once again, thousands and millions of people. If you can gauge who you are trying to target, right? Another example, I'm going to leave you all with this before I go. I was targeting something and I was posting on LinkedIn, right? Not a lot of people liked or commented on it because I wasn't very popular on that platform. That's another thing. But I knew the language and the information of what I was putting out there and who I was targeting. And that company reached back. So what you need to really focus on is your target. Everybody else can come into play. That's why his mentee that he has a saying that says, shoot for the moon. Even if you don't make it, you'll land amongst the stars. So I'm going to shoot for my topic. I'm going to shoot for the top. If I don't make it, I will land amongst the stars. You understand? So it's going to work out for you either way. Don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to put all of this into my chef planning business and it's not going to work, if I do all of that. You do all of that. You can't, the worst that you can do is still make it. Even if you don't make it over the top, you still have to. You're going to, because your content, the things that you're going to be doing is just going to land you there. You just have to make it. You understand? All right, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed this segment. Once again, this book that I have here is called See You at the Top. And the lesson that I want you all to take from today is to design yourself and your visuals that you come across in life with people that are at the top of the game of what you're playing. All right? They are the top of the game of what you're playing, and you are totally looking at that only. Okay? I have cousins. I love my cousins. They're my first cousins. I grew up with them. We took baths together. All three of us used to fit in the same tub, but we don't all fit in the same lifestyle right now. They don't fit in my tub no more. We're too big. All right? I can't. You know what I'm saying? Sit the tub. Thank you, Boo, for coming. We are closing out. We're in our last 5 minutes. So just wrapping up a summary again. So some of those people, even that you love so dearly, you don't have to completely cut them off. All right? But like I said on social media, you might have to put them on mute because you can't look at that right now. You don't have the space. Some of us are too old for that. It's not like you're 21 years old and you got room to be falling and bumping your head. No. At this age, when you fall, you make bruises. You got to go to the hospital. You have to take bear. Like, there's extra steps to your failures now. So you don't have time for that. You don't have time for the nonsense. And they'll be there for you. When you win, they'll be there. And they'll love you. But if you don't win, they're going to talk about you bad. And they love you. So don't kick them down. Just because you didn't do what you were supposed to be doing. Y'all know how it is with family. Right? So again, you guys, see you at the top. This is the book. If I have any books that are on here that are audio, I will let you all know because right now I'm listening to a book about how to influence people and be positive, and I'll post that in my stories. I'm going to tell you how that book has helped me on how to influence people. You know, it's not how to manipulate people. I've learned about myself through listening to this book about how I come across to people and how I talk to people. That, you know, to always make sure that I'm giving hope and enlightenment. Just because I'm being direct and honest doesn't mean that I should come across as I'm putting them down. I also learned that, see, this is my show right now, and this is where I should talk a lot. But in my stream that I stream regularly, I should be listening to people more and always make it about them. See, in here, I do my show. I share my personal testimonies, which are here. So I've learned how to categorize that. Honestly, I didn't know any better. So if y'all see me in here talking too much about my stories and myself, that's because I didn't know no better, and I was really trying to help folks. So certain things people do is because they don't know any better. Don't think because folks are in a certain position in life that they know better. Still growing, still learning. And I listen to that through audio, and my streams have been doing a little bit better, you know, because I don't sit and ramble so much anymore. And I always, when people talk or share something, I always make sure I put it back and I constantly keep it on them. Constantly keep it on. I have to work that out. So that's what listening to audiobooks and things like that will help you with see certain things about yourself in the privacy of your own home and room, so you don't feel confronted. You know, I don't need nobody busting me out of my face. See, whoever wrote that book, but because of my personality, they can't tell me that to my face. I'm already probably what they really talking about. So I'm obviously not at the mature level to handle that. And I may become offended. But the thing about reading books is you're being corrected in the privacy of your room, in your home, where you can get it together and move on and do better. Nobody knows. You know? That's why I like audiobooks and reading books. It's like, okay. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for telling me that in private. I'm glad I didn't get busted out. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Patricia 2 Wavy. Don't forget to fade me. You guys, what we have here are these 3 bubbles, because I'm going to have a lot of people watching this video from different walks of life. Maybe you're from the walk of life of YouTube. Maybe you're from the walk of life of Instagram. Somebody's sending me a battle. We are not taking what's called battles right now. Maybe you're from the walk of life of Instagram. However you got here, I'm glad that you came. And I've already explained to you how tag works in the beginning. So now towards the end, you will see that we are at 100 views within the hour span. That is 11.7K on the hearts, which means that the show has been held with viewership throughout its entire span. No, not too many walk-ins and walk-outs, or there was nothing dry here during the entire hour. And we're going to go over what's called the top 3 gifters that come into the room. So you all can see here in the camera as I go down. My number 1 is Freck FFG. You will see him on my flag. Those red exclamation points. Those are his emoji. I am Throwed Man is number 2. China Doll is number 3. You always want to recognize your people. Thank you, B, for coming in as well. If you see my flyer, okay, has a flag, because this is Patricia's Parade of Pages, and I just really wanted to put the emojis of all my buddies on my flag. It just kind of helps me, gives you a little bit of oomph before I get started. I feel like my support is always here, whether they're physically in here or not, because I do so many shows that I actually can burn out my friends if they constantly follow behind me like that. And they cannot. It's not fair to ask people to do that. But I know they're here in my flag with my parade. So we're like, go Patricia! So thank you all for being here, a part of Patricia's Parade of Pages. Frank was like, I'm glad she know that, because it was like 12 of them this week. I love you all. Thank you so much. Bye.